What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I don't typically cover fighting videos. I don't watch them too much. I watch wrestling, but this one I feel like doing. I'm going to go into a couple reasons why I have a decent idea of what's going to happen. So one thing that's interesting, and this is I do think wrestling ties in perfectly with the UFC and other sports. They're merged now, don't forget. So they're working under the same operation. ESPN put out an article today about how the Pauls are taking over the world, essentially. And now Logan won by knockout, okay? And I had a feeling that was going to happen. I wish it let me do wrestling bets. They usually do on my book, but they didn't have SummerSlam options. It was interesting, though. He knocked out Ricochet, so Logan Paul wins by knockout. Now, what makes this, for me, just very, very, very interesting is Jake Paul was minus 350, and it was sitting around there for a while. Right after Logan Paul knocked out Ricochet, the odds moved to minus 450, which is a substantial movement. First off, I think a lot of people don't understand that in a real fight, I think it's scripted, but in a real fight, Jake Paul would knock out Diaz. As tough as Diaz is, Jake Paul is just much stronger, and he's a better boxer. And I'm also noticing boxers are giving flowers to Diaz, but the fans are saying, I'm seeing him, and he's not hitting so well. Diaz is getting almost 4-1. People are going to slam him. So I think it's almost a certainty Jake Paul wins. Now, obviously, we're about getting our money, so I chose him to win by TKO, knockout, or DQ. I didn't want to just go KO because I think we might get some kind of shenanigans with a TKO or even a DQ. I think Diaz might get pissed and low blow him or something. But I think because Logan Paul knocked out, Ricochet, it's pretty interesting. Now, another thing that's interesting, and maybe I'm reaching, but the fight after that was Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was a UFC guy, and he lost. So I don't think that one's really too much, but it is interesting to me. I think WWE lets on a lot. Now, I don't think it's going to be like a first-round knockout because it would shock the world and maybe set up some love for a rematch. But Tyson used to do that, and that's why he stopped knocking people out so early, because he wouldn't throw the fight because he had custom auto. But the ratings weren't going to do so well if they knew the fight was only going to last 9 seconds. So I think we might see 6th, 7th round, maybe TKO. Diaz is getting knocked down too many times, something of that nature. But yeah, so that's my pick. The fight's coming up pretty soon. Probably, I think it's 2 hours, around midnight it should start. But yeah, that's my pick. I like Jake Paul to win via TKO, knockout, or DQ, which is about minus 150. So you're going to get a lot better odds than just taking him to win. I don't see him winning by decision, and I don't see Diaz winning, so I just try to. I'm hoping they don't pull shenanigans and have him win by decision, but I don't think too much money is going to be on Paul in general. People pick emotionally, and there's a lot of people that, between the odds and the fact that they don't like Jake Paul, I think they're going to take Diaz. Combine it with my wrestling logic, and I love Paul, again, knockout, TKO, or DQ. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a cool fight. I'm not going to spend $60 to order it. I would just I'd put that money on something else, like on a game. But I'm going to just be checking in, of course, and I think hopefully it'll go our way. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.